Hello, it's Gaylin, design team member for Unity Stamp Company. Today I have a gatefold card and it's handmade, and it's an easy way to create an interesting card that's a little bit interactive and pretty at the same time. It has florals with stamps and a sentiment by Unity. One kit is called A Will Away. And this has pretty florals in it. It's got different types of flowers. It's got one big sentiment, but I'm going to use mostly the flowers and the leaves from this set. And also I have a Unity set called His Words, and I'm using the inspirational sentiment in there along with a floral over the sentiment. And that's going to be stamped for the inside of the card. Now for the inside, I pre-cut a rectangle panel to go on the inside to fit the inside, and it's with my Creative Times more stitched rectangular dies. And I have a pre-cut and scored piece of cardstock. Now to do this, you'll need a scoring board and a bone folder, and you just cut the cardstock panel 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then you score the long end at 2.25 inches from each of the long ends. And I use a scoring board. You might have other methods of scoring paper evenly, but I like the Martha Stewart Crafts scoring board. It's the original one, and I just keep using that one over and over. I know they have a mini one. There's other scoring tools as well. So I'm going to be stamping the inside of the inside panel with a separate card piece. And it has a sentiment and a floral on that. And I set it aside. And now I'm using the original Misty to stamp the larger gatefold card base. I decided to go ahead and heat emboss these in metallic gold. So I use a powder tool first to powder the cardstock, and then I add Versamark ink and then gold embossing powder. I do that for each of the edges of this gatefold card. That's just what I chose. You can do it any way you want with any stamps you want. This is a good way to make a card, maybe even a single layer card with just a sentiment on the inside, but I chose to make a separate sentiment. It can also be a wrap for something like an invitation or an insert to go inside this gatefold panel. Lots of different options for it. So I decided to go ahead and do a little bit of emboss resist technique with Distress Oxide ink by Ranger, and I just blended it with a makeup brush. There are other types of blending tools out there that work just fine, but I wanted a not so perfect inking of those end panels, so I just used a little bit of light blue Distress Oxide ink. I think it is Broken China that I used. Then I heat embossed lightly, just to make, I pre-heat emboss the gold, and I reheat a little bit of the distress ink to make sure that it was dried before I continued on with the different steps. And then I decided to go ahead and add a little bit of a lighter shade of that same ink around the sentiment panel. And I added adhesive to the inside panel and added that to the inside. And then I have May Arts ribbon. It is actually a metallic gold cording that I use, and I triple wrapped that around the gatefold card to close it. But to open it, it's very simple. You just take the tie and you untie it, as long as you don't use a knot, and then you can see the inside. It makes a sweet card that's a little bit interactive and pretty at the same time, and for lots of different uses. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you like and follow me and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.